back in, and we wanted to give you a little bit about us and not really talk about what we're doing, but just talk about us for a moment. So, I'm Jenny,
This is Matt.
and we are on an adventure that we believe we are following through faith. And this is a calling that we believe we have on our life. And so we used to live in upstate New York. We sold our house back in February, and we've been living out of this camper since then at Matt's parents' house in their driveway. They are gracious enough to have let us live there for a while. And now we believe we're supposed to be moving on out, so we're in Tennessee currently. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I was born into a Christian home, and we went to church regularly. I was involved in youth group, and I was involved in a worship team, and really lived a dedicated life from the start. And always had a calling from the Lord on my life. Went through an interesting season where I stepped away a little bit. I ended up in a divorce from my first wife, and went through just an interesting season. And God called me back, and here we are. And we want to live. I know I want to live my life for the Lord, and the calling that He has on our life. And this is sort of part of our faith journey. My faith journey is obeying Him in this whole process. How about you?
I love it. Okay, so I was born and raised in Canandaigua, New York, with three brothers and two loving parents. Grew up Catholic, and I am thankful to have that as a background. However, I felt like I needed something more. There was a longing that I couldn't really put my finger on, and I ended up getting baptized as an adult to a Christian, and my faith journey is basically I started there. I feel like there's more to my life than just going to church on Sundays and having that as a mantra rather than a relationship with God.
So we're doing this faith journey together,
Yes.
and He has called us a while ago. We thought it was our idea that we wanted to move to Tennessee, and this was a long time ago.
Quite a few years ago, like
Yeah, it
maybe 6 to 8 years ago.
was even longer than that because we would visit Tennessee, and we always had this like, oh, we love it here, and we want to stay here. We never wanted to leave. We would.
Yeah.
The joke in the car was, we can just turn back around. We don't have to go back home.
Yes.
And so we always had this feeling that we wanted to be here. But it wasn't until a few years back
Mm-hmm.
that the Lord revealed that it was, well, not really our plan, it was His plan. And we, obviously He gives us desires, and that was one of our desires to move here. And it's all in His timing. I worked for Canandaigua City Schools for 20 years. And so part of my story here is that after 20 years of working there, I resigned, and I told them that I was going to move south. And so took a lot of faith even just to do that after having a steady job, a steady income for 20 years, to say, okay, God is telling me it's time to move on. That was hard, and but it was something. It all goes back to that thing, we're living in obedience to God, and so that was part of my uh, story of coming about, and really having to come to terms with that. How about you?
So I was in the dental field for the last 8 years, and last October of 2023 is when I felt it was time to go. It was time for me to move on and do different things. And looking back, I can see that God's hand was in everything. And I get the question a lot of why aren't you working, or don't you get bored, and all those good questions. And absolutely I do get bored, and if anybody knows me, they know that I am a person who likes to stay busy and stay out of trouble and be involved with many different things. And this has been a challenging season, but it has been a season where there's been a lot of growth. There's been a lot of things, a lot of walls that I've had to bring down, a lot of things that I've had to tackle. Basically, just things that need to be addressed and changed. And yeah, some big stuff that definitely have changed me for the better. And now we're here, and we're super excited. The ironic part is that one of my nicknames that my grandfather actually nicknamed me when I was a kid, a very little kid, was Jenny Lee from Tennessee. And that's something that I've always held close to my heart. And it's ironic that we're here now and we're kind of living out that spoken word over my life, even as a little girl.
Kind of a prophetic word, really. I mean,
yeah.
If you look at it like that. And we're looking forward to this next season. Right now we're walking in faith, believing that the Lord has a place for us, believing that He has jobs for us, believing, that we know that He won't abandon us, and
Absolutely.
that He will provide for us. So this is where we're living right now, and I encourage you to look at your life, and in your faith, and what is it that God is calling you to do? What is it that God is knocking on your heart and saying, hey, what about this? What about that? So I encourage you to look at our story, but then also to look at your own life and be like, hey, God, what is there more for me? What do you want from me? And that was something we were just living day to day, doing our thing, and we were doing a home church, and we were that all was going well, and we were going about their business. But God is calling us higher and calling us to something different. So
Yep.
I just encourage you, look at your life and look at your faith, and there's more to life than just the work grind. There's more than just the 9 to 5, which jobs are not like that nowadays. Jobs they encompass more than that. So there's more than the job life and the kids running the kids of sports and this and that and all that kind of stuff. There's more than that. So we want to be a couple that stands for what God stands for, and live our life in that direction.
And we aren't perfect. We absolutely know that we're not perfect, and we don't ask that anybody views us that way or that we try to even come close to that. We know we're not. This probably isn't for you, this lifestyle that we're doing, and that's okay. But I would encourage you to figure out what your calling is.
Yes. So that's just a little bit more about us, and we're probably going to do these little chats back and forth. This is all spontaneous. We're not like, this isn't scripted. So
No.
sometimes we might stumble over our words or say stupid things, but that's just life, isn't it? So, but we want to be real with you guys. We want to be totally transparent. This isn't easy. This has been a hard thing. I have friends back home. They're like, man, I don't know how you're doing it. I admire you, but I don't know how you're doing it. I could never do it.
Absolutely.
And I know one friend, I said to him, I said, well, when God comes knocking at your door, well, how are you going to respond? So that's really kind of what we did, and so here we are. We look forward to sharing this journey with you, and till next time, good night.
Bye. If you have a question or you want to say something, go ahead and leave it in the comments, and we will try to address it in these videos for you.